too many people get to a pretty old age and don't know how to cook anything but fucking pasta, that's not gonna fly. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm cutting up real bad up over you, baby. Creatine and methactide. Okay, I was having too much fun there. We are gonna be meal prepping today. Welcome back. It's been a minute. Sundays are normally the days where I meal prep. I used to do chicken and beef. Now I've tried to wean off the chicken. I haven't been eating chicken for the most part for probably 2 months now. I don't know what was going on, but something with chicken was upsetting my stomach. I don't know if it was the place I was buying it from. The quality may have been bad, not too sure. I didn't want to fuck with it though, because I was having a lot of major issues. Lately, I've been eating a lot more steak and a lot more fish. That's why we're cooking salmon and steak today. This is the salmon that I have, so we're gonna do salmon cakes. So what I like to do is get one of these tin trays, and then I also have these baking sheets. I prefer my fish with skin, so the skin won't stick to this. And if you've marinated your fish or your meat in anything that has like sugar, that will make it caramelize a little bit, and that makes it stick to just the tin tray even more. So I highly recommend getting yourself one of these baking mats. They're also really clutch for cookies. They come out like perfect every single time. Oh. I'm just gonna put some salt and pepper on it, nothing special. I have avocado oil. I recently switched from olive oil to avocado oil. Couldn't tell you if that really makes a difference in terms of health, to be honest with you. I'm not a nutritionist, dietitian, any of that fun stuff. So wash my hands nice and good. What have you guys been up to lately? What have you been snacking on? What you been eating? I still haven't had breakfast yet, and I'm just gonna keep going until I can't go anymore. Honestly, we'll see how far that gets me. Having pepper like this is fine. It's like the pre-ground one, but I honestly prefer the pepper kernels, and then it has like the mechanism. The pre-ground stuff doesn't really hit the same, but here we are. Use what you got. So a little bit of salt and pepper. So I'm not gonna cook this all the way through. I'm just gonna bake it for a little bit, and then we're gonna pan sear it with some other stuff like peppers and whatnot. I actually bought myself a little mechanism to help chop up vegetables. Maybe I should have got a bigger food processor. I don't know, but I got one of these. This has come in clutch, especially with things like garlic, because if you cook with garlic often, you'll realize that your hands will smell for days, even if you just like touched it a little bit. So what I like to do is just throw it in here, chop, 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 call it a day. So I went to H Mart and I got some pre-peeled pieces of garlic. Since I'm making steak and that fish, I'm gonna need a lot of garlic. So I'm just gonna fill it up, about that much. I have some green onion, red pepper, that's gonna go in with the salmon cakes, a jalapeno pepper. This is for the mango salsa I wanna make for the salmon cakes. A little bit of yellow onion, and then I have a little bit of red onion. I'm gonna make a chimichurri sauce for the steak. So we have some parsley, lemon, pepper, salt, and red pepper flakes. I'm gonna use some of the red pepper for the salmon cakes. I'm just probably gonna divide this maybe in half, I think. A good trick when you're cutting up greens is to kind of like roll it up or ball it up. That makes cutting it way easier and smoother. And whenever you cut, please position your fingers like this so you don't fucking cut your finger off. And then you slowly inch your fingers back as you cut through. I'm not a cook by any means, but I've watched enough cooking videos to know better. Do it like that, and then just rough chop it up. There's actually a ton of parsley. I probably don't need this much. Instead of olive oil, I'm gonna use the avocado oil. I'm not sure if that's really gonna change the taste a lot, but whenever I cook, I kind of just cook all over the place. Why am I using a jar? Don't ask. I'm not sure about ratios. I just assume, you know, preference. So I pulled the fish out of the oven, and now we're working on the peppers and onions. So I'm gonna saute these for a little bit. This is 1 yellow onion and half a red pepper. So I'm gonna make sure to cook these until they've softened. And then once they've softened a bit, I'll go ahead and add the garlic. Let that sit for a bit. While the fish is still warm, I'm gonna take it and shred it up. So yeah, this doesn't have to be pretty, just rip it up as much as you can. So yeah, I can see it's mostly been cooked through, but not all the way, and that's fine because I don't want my salmon cakes to be overcooked when they hit the pan. The tail end of the fish has a different seasoning on it, so I'll just leave that alone. While this cools, I'm just gonna make sure that my peppers and onions don't get overcooked. Let's add in the garlic. So I'm just gonna cook that until the garlic is fragrant. If you're someone who's like, oh, I burn everything, pick one recipe and try to perfect it. From there, you're gonna learn better time management, because honestly, that's what cooking is for the most part. And if you have a hard time sort of balancing multiple things at once, if you can't handle that, that's okay, just take it slow. It's gonna take you a little bit longer to then meal prep, but as time goes on, you'll adapt, so it's not that big of a deal. Now I'm gonna make sure that I have everything ready in this mixing bowl. Not all of this fish is gonna fit, so I might actually move it to a pot. It's gonna be breadcrumbs, some eggs, Worcestershire sauce, mayonnaise, and parsley, I believe. Now it's time for the steak. I don't even know what cut of meat this is, to be honest with you. I just picked it up because I was like, steak is steak. So I'm just gonna put some salt and pepper on this and then fill the pan with garlic and butter and cook it that way. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit more than just salt and pepper. And this is my salmon. I did put it in a pot. I'll take a picture so you guys can see what it looks like. When you're cooking meat in a pan like this, let your meat sit for a little while, about like 2 to 3 minutes. If you go to move it and it's not budging, that means it's not ready. While that's doing its thing, I'm gonna roll this salmon paste, I guess you wanna call it at this point, into balls or weigh them out so that they're even. And that way I'm able to actually weigh my food properly. Doing it this way, it will be a lot easier for me instead of having to weigh them afterwards. I usually keep a notebook or something while I cook just to help me keep track of all the changes that I've made to a recipe or the amounts that I have of the meat, etc., as I'm divvying things up. Usually before I meal prep, I like to put everything into an app to begin with to make sure that whatever I'm cooking is actually gonna hit my macro targets. So with the salmon, I think I have for each meal, I need to eat about 8 ounces of the salmon patties per meal, or maybe it's around 7. And with the steak, it's a little bit less than that. So what I'll do if I'm weighing things out like patties, cookies, what have you, I will grab some saran wrap and put it on top of the scale. That way I don't have to worry about cleaning the scale. I don't have to worry about cleaning a plate, and it actually makes the process a lot faster. So I'll take it out of the pot, throw it onto the scale, throw it onto the pan. Just so you can see, this is the steak. Look at it, it looks so yummy. All right. A 6-ounce patty looks fucking massive. My hands are clean, obviously, so roll it up into a ball and then flatten it out a little bit. It's currently 1 o'clock. I am so fucking tired, but we're making good progress. All the steak is cooked. I'm still waiting on the fish cakes to finish up. I have green beans cooking up right now, and then the rice is done. So the rice is gonna pair up with the salmon. I'm actually mixing up a slaw right now to go with the salmon. So in this bowl, I have some tomatoes, red onion, and this is a jalapeno pepper on top. I'm gonna add cilantro. I need to run back to the store and grab some mangoes. I totally forgot to grab mango, because I think a mango salsa goes really well with salmon. And then I'll probably add some avocado to that as well. Just something fresh along with something fried. Again, if you want to make this healthier, you could go ahead and bake the fish cakes. I prefer to have a little bit of a crunch, so I pan fried them. It's on a medium to low heat, and that's what they're looking like right now. So I'm letting them just cook on their own time. This is what they look like finished. Still have some over there that need to be cooked, and then these are green beans that I'm gonna pull soon. The meat is just a pile of meat right now. I haven't decided what I want to do with the greens, if I want to have the green beans with the salmon or have broccoli with the salmon. But regardless, this is almost done, and I have frozen broccoli. Usually by this time in the cooking process, I'm exhausted. So what I prefer to do is just grab whatever frozen vegetable that I have, throw it in a pot with some boiling water, let it heat up, and then pull it. Because the salmon cakes and the meat have a pretty good amount of flavor, I'm not gonna bother with like doing anything special to this. If I do decide to do something special, I usually just throw it in a pan so that it's no longer frozen and then saute it with some onions and garlic. I'll do that with the broccoli or I'll do that with green beans. Butter and garlic with anything makes it taste way better. Just be careful if you're tracking your macros to pay attention to the amount of oil that you're using, the amount of butter, salt, etc., etc. I'm used to eyeballing stuff, so I'm usually in a good spot there. So I'm not too worried about it, okay? Plus, my competition's not for a little while, so I can eat like this and not have to necessarily worry. I've been hovering around 165 to 170 for a while now, and that's kind of where I need to be for my competition, so all good there. I haven't heard this song forever. Oh my God. I'm finally sitting down. It's been like 3 hours. Actually, it's been 4 fucking hours of this, but we are done. I don't normally go this ham on food for the week because I just can't be bothered to be in the kitchen for that long. This is 4 hours start to finish. So prepping all the veggies, making sure the meat's ready to go, cleaning. I cleaned my entire kitchen. So we are done now. And I put in extra time to plate. Normally it does not take me this long. You can't tell me that you wouldn't want to eat that. So when it comes to meal prepping, what I've realized that makes things easier. If you have a hard time when it comes to making your food in a very timely manner, I would recommend prepping the meat and the veggies the day before. That way you can just throw everything into the pan or into an oven. Also, if you're not a huge fan of cooking on the stovetop, there are plenty of recipes out there that just let you throw it in the oven and call it a day. So it would be like single pan recipes. I could have cooked my steak as a single pan recipe. If you're gonna go that route, it's going to be low and slow. If you want it to have a charred flavor, you can go ahead and broil it. Honestly, I think that cooking the meat on a stovetop or a grill is way better than just baking it. I only do that when I have ample time. Today I didn't really have much on my schedule, so that's why I decided to cook everything in a pan. But normally I would just throw my meat in the oven because I can't be bothered. I also don't usually do much with my rice, but if you want to spice up your rice, you could cook it in chicken stock or beef stock, whatever one you want. I would make sure that you pick one that's low sodium or that's no salt added. That way you can add salt to taste rather than it being like a little overwhelming. Not only that, but if you're putting a lot of salt into your other ingredients, that can kind of put you overboard in terms of the sodium that you're eating throughout the week. So that's one tip, to add some more flavor. If you have any questions related to meal prepping, just let me know down in the description below. I know I didn't really cover a lot in terms of how to weigh out your food and how to set your macros. Setting your macros is going to vary from person to person. That's why I didn't really get into it. When you kind of zoom out, general goals like losing weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit. Gaining weight, you need to be in a caloric surplus. If you want to maintain your current body weight, and let's say decrease in body fat, that would be a body recomposition, and you would be eating your caloric maintenance, but that's when you need to pay more attention to your exercise. So it really just depends. If you have questions, drop them down below. I will get back to you. But yeah, I'm very excited to eat this. This honestly didn't take very long in the grand scheme of things. If you're not gonna plate it all pretty, if you're not gonna film and whatnot, I would say this would probably take you around maybe 2 hours total. And I include cleaning the kitchen. If you're someone who doesn't like cleaning the kitchen as you cook, then sorry. Yeah, it was all pretty simple. It was just chopping things up and throwing in a pan. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will catch you in the next one. I should have had my hair like this the whole time. It looks prettier. Oh well. I'm gonna pick which one I wanna eat now because I haven't had breakfast or lunch. We're coming up on dinner. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe while you're at it so you don't miss future videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy your weekend, week, whenever, wherever. And yeah. Peace out, Cup.